it's, my adrenaline right now is. And the total comes out to, a few weeks ago, I purchased this beautiful 2013 crystal red metallic Camaro ZL1. And honestly, it has been an absolute blessing and just a dream to own over the last few weeks. Now, in the time frame that I've owned this car and uploaded some videos and of course the main reveal video on my channel, I have gotten nothing but overwhelming positive comments and congratulations. And within those positive comments and congratulations, I've been getting a consistent question on my channel and on these videos, all asking the same thing. What the hell has been done to your Camaro ZL1? Now, you guys have been asking that because in some of the videos that I have released, I have mentioned that this car has over 650 crank horsepower, which is drastically different from the stock figures of 580 crank horsepower. Now, a lot of you guys have actually commented saying, well, 650 horsepower is not what the 5th gen ZL1 makes, that's what the 6th gen ZL1 makes. Guys, stop. Read. I know. Trust me, I know. I'm a Camaro guy. I know. That's why I mentioned that this car is modified. So, and in this video, we're gonna talk about all of the modifications that I'm aware that this car has when I purchased it, and then we're gonna take it out on the road and really just film some cool content with this car, because the 5th gen ZL1 is a badass car. And when you throw in some of the modifications that this car has, it's a recipe for fun. Let's get to it. Now, before I get into the details of those modifications, I want to let you guys know that when I was looking to purchase a ZL1, I really wasn't that discriminatory against a modified one or a stock one. I didn't mind as long as the modifications were relatively light, which is exactly what this car ended up having. And of course, I was also interested in purchasing one that was completely stock so I can get the full stock 5th gen ZL1 experience. But to be honest, it's quite difficult to find a stock Camaro ZL1, especially because these cars are just so mod friendly, and it's kind of like an incentive to modify these cars. So let's talk about the exterior modifications that my ZL1 has, and this should be fairly quick because there are no modifications on the ZL1's exterior. In fact, the previous owner of this car solely focused on the performance metric of this car. And it's something that I personally should have done with my Aqua Blue Camaro SS from the beginning, but it's honestly something that I'm so thankful that this guy focused so much on performance, because when you focus on performance, you really focus on the driving experience. And when you focus on the exterior, you're really focusing on, like, the majority of the time on other people's perspective, and you're doing it for other people. But I have to say that not starting off with the exterior is definitely the route that I should have taken, and it's the route that you should take as well. So now let's focus on what makes this car have 650 crank horsepower, 70 more horsepower than the stock OEM figures. And honestly, guys, when I say that this is a very lightly modified car, I mean it, because these are modifications that I would have done myself first if I would have purchased this car completely stock as well. So the owner of this car probably dropped around $7,000 to $10,000 in modifications and servicing over the course of his ownership, which is something that I'm totally grateful for, because again, that's extra money that I get to keep for myself. But it does rob me of the opportunities to make cool content for you guys. We'll first start off with the most obvious modification, and that is going to be a Rotofab cold air intake. The next pieces of modifications is going to be long tube headers. I'm not too sure which long tube headers are actually on the car, because in the invoice that I have a copy of, it doesn't really say it, it just says long tube headers. And they're also catted long tube headers as well, so they do have high flow catalytic converters on it. The next modification on our list that helps gain horsepower through efficiency is going to be the upgraded lower pulley system that helps eliminate the supercharger pulley slippage that unfortunately superchargers are plagued with. And the last modification that was added to help cool the car and keep the engine running efficiently is going to be a UAR Racing oil catch can system. Now, all of those modifications and add-ons went through a custom dyno tune. And after the car went through that dyno tune, it actually dynoed in at 570 wheel horsepower. And it's so freaking hilarious how the previous owner of the car actually framed it. You guys will definitely be seeing some skits, and this is definitely going to be displayed at Cars and Coffee when I go. But it's just so cool to see that this car has actually gone through the process of a dyno. But nonetheless, that is a great amount of power gains from such simple modifications without really dumping too much money into it. Well, I didn't dump the money into it. So let's hear how the car sounds and drives with all of these modifications playing together. This has such a deep and throatier exhaust sound than mine. It just sounds more aggressive and more muscle car like. Let's do our first launch control with the car. I shifted a little bit late there on all of the shifts because I was so focused. But oh my lord, that is crazy. Woo! It's those long tube headers. Let's hear the supercharger now from the inside. Lord! That is absolutely diabolical. This is so insane how good this car sounds. Pretty much everything beyond the primary cats or the long tube cats, everything else from behind, completely stock. Man, that is just, it's definitely a lot quieter. It's a lot deeper than my old SS. Oh my god, guys, that was, my adrenaline right now is oh, all right, let's let the girl rest for a little bit. All right, keeping the car on the ground for this transition to keep this car nice and hooked and give, Jesus, hello. yo, what the hell? Nah. Keeping the car planted are going to be these Eagle F1 Goodyear tires. These are 285/35 20s in the front, and back here we have Nittos for obviously a rear-wheel drive supercharged V8 that makes 570 wheel. These are again 305/35 by 20s. Well, there you have it, guys. That is the full performance mod rundown of all the things that have been done to my Camaro ZL1. That's why this car makes over 650 horsepower and 570 wheel with a 553 pound-feet of torque. These are mods that I was going to plan on doing anyway. It just so happens that this car had it and it was properly done. I mean, this car rides and feels incredibly, and with those extra mods on it, you could definitely feel how much more this car pushes. That basically is all that has been done to the car for now, because I will be doing some future modifications to this car, so stay tuned for that. Before we conclude the video, in my hand, I actually have an invoice of all of the servicing items, all of the modifications that has been done to this car prior to me purchasing it, or all of the money that has been put into this car prior to me purchasing it. comes out to $9,491. This is a message to the previous owner. If you're watching this, thank you so goddamn much, because dropping 10K basically on this car right now would hurt. Well guys, there you have it. If you found this video informative and somewhat entertaining, go ahead and hit the like button. It helps out tremendously with the algorithm and puts ZL1s back on the map, the 5th gen ZL1s. Of course, if you enjoy my content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And last but not least, do not forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for the awesome content that we have planned for this ZL1.